Hey, it's Soul. It's July 27, 2017. It is less than 20 days before
the battle for Azeroth.
This is Warcraft Weekly, and today's episode is brought to you by Boner Sticks. Angry? Frustrated? Are you in labor and it's still the 1800s? Well, just bite down on a non-sexual boner stick. Joining us as usual is Bob. He is still on site over in Darnassus. Hey Bob, what's going on over there?
Hey, so we're having an awesome time here in Darnassus. People are running around all crazy. This is the best War of Porns party ever.
Wait, did you say War of Porns? And is that why you're not wearing pants?
Ha, made you look.
Shut up, dude. Anyway, Bob, it's not called the War of Porns, it's called the War of Thorns.
Well, no wonder people are scrambling around. I'm having to take care of all this barbecue stuff myself. I burnt the hot dog. I'm really sad.
Well, I hope that's not the only thing that you burn. Eh?
What are you talking about?
Nothing. You just keep doing what you're doing, and, we'll get back to you next week and see how this War of Thorns is going. Well, while Bob is enjoying blissful ignorance, we players of the World of Warcraft are enjoying, or kind of enjoying, this War of Thorns event. As most of you already know, the period right before an expansion's launch, there is a series of things that happen to help forward the story and otherwise help people get caught up with what's going on in the current state of Azeroth. This time, Blizzard's efforts were split, doing separate Horde and Alliance quest lines. Slowly but surely, worlds are going to collide and ignite in a in a party, Bob. It's a party.
Hell yeah, it's a party.
Absolutely, and everyone's having a good time. No, not everyone's having a good time.
Seems like there's no rewards for doing well enough to get a bounty on you. I like everything else about it, though.
War mode is the biggest pile of dog symbols that Blizzard has dropped on us since phasing and WoD. Wait a minute, it is phasing, and it's pure cancer in the open world. Bounties kind of suck right now. You just become a free target since you can't move or hide, and you just get blown up by a 40-man raid for free because you played well. It doesn't feel very good.
I'm never putting war mode on for anything.
Cool. Should have disabled flying.
Worst pre-patch event ever. Boring AF. Rewards are symbols. And I'd normally say so much more, but that's the problem, ... There is nothing more. So I'm fine with staggering content, but this event took 15 minutes to complete and I was left thinking, is that it? The Dark Shore world quests are generic and overall it was extremely underwhelming.
Such an underwhelming event, especially after Legions. They should have made battles like the Legion Invasions but Horde vs. Alliance Team or something like that. Let's not pull any punches here. It's a pre-launch event. It's not all that, woo! Okay, I don't know what woo is supposed to mean, but I think that after going through Legion's pre-launch event, which was fairly meaty, we got to enjoy a new class for people that had pre-ordered. There was a cool event that allowed us to level the crap out of all of our alts. I think after that, because of allied races, and it appears that Blizzard didn't want to allow people to just kind of use another sort of leveling event to get a whole bunch of allied races done and otherwise negate the prestige of having one. Players are left a little bit, disappointed. And that's been underlined by all the different issues that players have been having with the leveling process. Thanks to the item and level squish, the kind of slowdown of leveling that had already happened in 7.3.5 is feeling that much worse. Thankfully, Blizzard has come out and made a statement saying that they want to address this issue with the haphazardness of how they were handling leveling, as well as to address some of the pain points that have been brought up since 7.3.5. So overall, while things are still in a pretty wonky state, players are feeling a little bit better about what they can look forward to in the near future. Hopefully near future, you feel me? Going back to the pre-launch event stuff, like I said, this is nothing new. There are things to do, but there isn't like a whole lot of stuff to do. We've obviously seen complaints, and hey, you folks at home and on the toilet may also have your own complaints about how this event might feel. Lackluster is, I believe, the word that I've been seeing a lot. Oh, how we long for when the events were good, like in the Legion pre-launch, and the Wrath of the Lich King pre-launch, and that's it. This is my opinion, but pre-launch events for the World of Warcraft expansions, for the most part, not that great. Think back to the Burning Crusade launch, when all there was, I believe it was a world, this is off the top of my head, by the way, it was a world boss, and a lot of AoEing on the Dark Portal to get some ads, and to kill some mobs to get a tabard, whoop-de-doo, and you had to do that within, I think, the course of a week, because the whole pre-launch event was only a week long. That's cool. Let's not talk about the Wrath of the Lich King one, because that was too awesome, and I miss it. The Cataclysm one with the elemental invasions, that was okay, unless you were a lobby and you just got stomped by whatever mobs that spawned in town. The pre-launch event for Mists of Pandaria was the little campaign in Theramore that ended with a bang. We got our first taste of scenarios. Cool. And that was it. Warlords of Draenor spawned a whole bunch of orcs in the Blasted Lands, giving us a preview of the, of the orc hell to come. And we were able to get into a dungeon that we would eventually be doing over and over and over and over again. And then there's Legion, and then there's now. So I don't mind it. This event is okay. My biggest critique, though, happened yesterday, though. As you already know, the pre-patch event includes some World Quest content over in Darkshore. However, yesterday over on US Realms, 2 of the quests rewarded the same kind of gear. Hey, thanks. And on top of that, the gear is not unique, which is a big bummer. Cool, it's catch-up gear, that's great, but having something kind of new and snazzy to collect would have been a little bit nice. The kind of cooler part is that War Mode is fully enabled over in Darkshore. For those of you who don't care about War Mode, this is fantastic because you never have to PvP ever again. For everyone else, let me tell you what it was like for me. It is cool that I can go around and find someone and I can feel absolutely no guilt about attacking them even if they're at low health because they chose to be there. What got crazy and kind of frustrating is when more and more people started to coalesce together, we started to have balls of death crashing into each other, and unfortunately, the Alliance had a bigger ball than we did. Now, something important that not everyone may know, and in fact, my information might be inaccurate, is that in War Mode, if you happen to get a number of kills and you become an assassin, you cannot get on a mount. You can't just mount up and fly all over the place to get away from people, and that's a cool thing. However, you can get on someone else's mount and they can fly around and get away from stuff. The idea of assassins and bounties in War Mode is a cool thing on paper. In practice though, when you're an assassin, you're not really an assassin, you're bait. You, sir or madam, are the beacon that the opposite faction is going to direct themselves to, and people on your side are also going to direct themselves to so they can start farming the people that are trying to come to you. You're bait. You are Mr. or Mrs. President, and it is the job of people around you to keep yourself alive so that way that beacon stays up and you can keep farming honor kills. So my hopes over the next couple of weeks is that Blizzard observes what's going on in War Mode and they do things to make the experience a little bit better, such as sharding, because there were issues with that, with one group getting together and they're like, yeah, we're going to get together, we're going to smash the other group. And then as they get bigger and bigger, they like shard out or they phase out, and it's like, oh, okay, well that's a doo-doo. There's the idea of getting onto someone else's mount and otherwise getting away. And then there's the idea of flight, period, in War Mode. Even with that PvP net to discourage just hovering over your enemies, I still don't think it's a very good environment to have with having flight in this mode. So that's my feedback on this event and War Mode so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts in a comment below. What did you think of War Mode and this War of Thorns event itself? And keep in mind that we just finished Part 1 of this War of Thorns event. Part 2, we're going to see its conclusion, and spoiler alert, it's quick. And then the week after that, those of you who have pre-ordered the Battle for Azeroth expansion will be able to experience the Battle for Lordaeron. Anyone who does not have BFA purchase is going to have to wait for the launch date, August 13th or 14th, depending on your region. So don't get too confused when August 7th comes and people are doing stuff and you're not, and you're like, why isn't it happening?
Why isn't it happening?
It's July 27th. That's why.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just kind of spaced out listening to your prattle.
Oh, do you want to do the next thing then?
No.
Alright then. According to Wowhead and our in-game calendars, the schedule for Uldir, the first raid of Battle for Azeroth, has been revealed. There's nothing surprising about this because we heard about this in the most previous Q&A. On September 4th, almost everything happens. The Uldir raid opens on Normal and Heroic, the PvP season starts, and Mythic Keystone dungeons become available. 1 week later, on September 11th, the Mythic version opens up along with the first of 3 wings of LFR. 2 weeks later, we get LFR Round 2, and 2 weeks after that, LFR Round 3. The last little bit is a little bit new and it's kind of fluid, so we're just gonna have to see how it goes. Cross-realm mythic rating will open up as soon as the first 100 guilds on both the Horde and Alliance side complete the raid on mythic difficulty. So the wide guesstimation is that it could be at least 2 or so months until cross-realm mythic rating opens up. So it might still be a while, but that depends on you. How long do you think it's gonna be until cross-realm mythic rating is unlocked? Which faction do you think we'll be waiting on? Dang, don't get mad.
Oh my god, did you see those beautiful eyes?
Yes, I did. There's some pretty cool extreme close-ups of both Anduin and Sylvanas to take a look at. I can almost feel the memes coming out as we speak. This week we started to see more of the media blitz, the mainstream hype for the Battle for Azeroth expansion. Apart from the 2 people who really don't feel like they want to be where they are right now, there were 4, count them 4 pretty fun commercials that celebrate the faction conflict, or at least they make light of it. Personally, I don't have a clear favorite. I thought all of them were both fun and somewhat cringy at the same time, but that's how it goes. It's a quick video game commercial splash. Of course, not everyone was very happy about them. Maybe they found them a bit too cringeworthy, but was it really that much worse than previous deliveries? I don't think so.
Mr. T-Wood was the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, this week was the first of 3 animated shorts entitled War Biggers.
Did you say War Biggers?
No, I didn't say War Biggers, I said War Brickers. Anyway, the first one was about Jaina Proudmoore. She was on a boat and she sang a song and it was nice. And everyone likes a good song, right?
Still not sympathetic to Jaina after her actions in Dalaran, and her complete lack of any regret or acknowledgement of it since.
I dislike Jaina, but this is glorious. I love it, honestly. Awesome work.
Just awful. Is this Disney now?
Amazing aesthetics and music. Great job, Blizzard.
Please, let this set the mood for a Biffa. Holy smokes, this was great.
In the end, Blizzard always delivers. What a great work, kudos.
Reaction. Yawn?
You gotta admit it was a pretty cool song.
God bless Jaina Proudmoore. I really enjoyed this one more than I thought I did. The song is catchy and stuck in my head, and the whole turmoil with Jaina was really neat to see. Really looking forward to the next 2.
Jaina, I think, is my favorite character in all of Warcraft. She's had the most character development out of anyone. And she's also, I think, the most powerful character aside from Malfurion.
This was so frustrating to watch. She knew the orcs and the Horde weren't the killers of her childhood nightmares when she worked with Thrall.
I also like this short a lot. It was well directed and written. It was a different approach coming in the form of a song. The interpretations have been really wild when it comes to what's going on in Jaina's head. Like, is she okay? Is she unstable in the head? Part of this, I know, comes from my lack of understanding, but I'm trying to look at different comments and conversations that are going over here in YouTube and Wowhead and Reddit, and there's just a lot of back and forth about her character. She's becoming more and more complicated as we start to unravel her past, as well as the things that the Alliance has done over the years that she kind of represents. At any rate, though, it has me super excited for the other 2 Warbringer shorts that are coming. I don't think it matters too much, but for me, the internal hype is high. I'm like, ooh, who's coming next? Is it going to be Sylvanas? Is it going to be Ashara? I don't know. But if this week was any indication, we're going to get a new Warbringer story Monday, which means that on Monday, you can expect another analysis from me from this second and, of course, the 3rd video. It's going to be the same thing, just not animated, because Blizzard doesn't seem to, want to help us out. But whatever, it shouldn't feel any different. It's going to be a lot of fun, so please subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned. So that about wraps up the news for this week. So how was your week, everybody? Mine, as usual, was pretty busy. I was actually hanging out with a fellow YouTuber, Zach, the Nerd Templar. We were doing the War of Thorns questing together slowly, as in we read pretty much every quest. It was a lot of fun, and my hopes are that next week we're going to be doing part 2, and after that we're going to be doing the Battle for Lordaeron. So it would be great if you were to join us on Twitch. Just follow along, commentate with us. We'll have a good time. Thankfully, on the raid side, things have much improved from where they were last week. We're actually able to clear bosses without too much issue. And at least to my terrible memory, this hasn't felt any different from previous expansions where we had a big pre-patch with a bunch of changes, system changes, class changes, a squish, where things just felt really awkward. From the sounds of things though, there's no doubt in my mind that Blizzard is once again going to be doing, triple time over the weekend, that sort of thing, in order to get some more hot fixes out and to get things stable for when BFA actually launches. Because flubbing the pre-patch is one thing, but man, if they do like a repeat of Warlords of Draenor for BFA, ooh, peep's gonna be pissed. So anyway, let's wrap things up. Real quick, Bob, how are things going over there?
Well, there's a lot of cooking to do, and there's this special charcoal that I'm going to use.
Let me guess, it's Azurite? Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see how we'll see how that goes. So next week we've got potentially big things coming. It may start off with another Warbringer short. We have the conclusion of the War of Thorns event to play through, as well as the fate of Darnassus and Teldrassil. I'm also going to attempt to have some preparation guides in store for you, maybe some fun stuff on the side, and streams, and commentary, and etc, etc, etc. So please stay tuned for that, and if you haven't already liked this video, please like it to help support me, and subscribe for more of this and all things Warcraft. We will see you next week. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.